Hello there friends, Duke of Haze here. Thank you once again for allowing me into your homes. Well, it's the end of week 3, beginning of week 4 for me. I did my second weigh-in. Okay, this is the weigh-in for the end of week 3, start of week 4. Get a little light. Sorry, there's cats running by. Yeah, I don't know, this is, like I said, really weird for me. 219.8. I am down to 219.8. It's probably closer to 220, but a 4 pound loss overall. Um, According to MyFitnessPal, my current goal is losing 2 pounds a week, so I've currently done double that, which I don't know, I'm happy about, but I feel like, I don't know, I never feel like it's good enough. Like, I feel like it should be more. It should be more. I wish it would go faster. I wish I was in shape faster, but it's something that doesn't happen fast. Because if it did, I would have been able to do it countless times over. But yeah, it feels good to see me progressing, making progress. Progress. I'm not from Canada. I feels good to see progress, and I wanted to say progressing, so my brain put them together. I don't say progress. I'm sorry, I'm from the U.S. I say progress. Um, it's weird, right? You say I'm seeing progress, and you say progress whenever you're actively doing it. It's really weird. Language is weird like that, which is why I enjoy it. Anywho, this last week, let me see. I started doing cardio again. I did 2 hours of cardio on Thursday, maybe. I want to say it was Thursday. It took me 2 days to fully recover from it because my legs were killing me for 2 days afterwards. I've always been a person of extremes. Like, if someone tells me, okay, well, 10,000 is good, but 12,000 is better, then I feel like, well, I want to do the really good option. And so I did 12,000 steps on Thursday, and my legs were wrecked for the next 2 days following it. So today I'm probably going to do cardio again just because my legs have recovered. So I'll probably attempt to do another 12,000 steps today. I've been working on my arms. I'm starting to finally get definition in my biceps and my triceps, which is nice. I've already kind of had because this has been an on and off thing for me, so I've already had a little bit of definition in my biceps and triceps, but now it's better. I don't know, because I'm sticking with it. I'm being consistent, so it's like even now I can see that, like, yeah, my face looks a little thinner. I don't look as bloated. My feet don't swell as much, so I can see that there are some results, but I have to undo years of seeing myself as physically unattractive. Like, I call me narcissistic, but I've always, I don't think my face is ugly. I've never thought I had an ugly face, but I can't deny what my body looks like, what my body weight is. So I've had confidence in some areas and confidence, not so much confidence in others. And basically, my body weight has been one of those things. Um, yeah, other than that, it's coming along fine. I don't know. I just am in a mood lately where I feel like I've wasted my 20s. Um, I played a visual novel, a spicy visual novel, we'll say. I'm just, I'm 36, dudes. I have nothing to hide. So, and it took place in a college setting, and it was mostly romantic. It was spicy, but it was mostly romantic, and it just made me realize that I could have done so many different things when I was in college, and I didn't do those things because I didn't have the confidence to do those things. One, And I don't know, two, it just wasn't me, I guess. Like, I know I'm going back and forth on it. I had my select group of friends. I didn't have a roommate. I could never imagine having a roommate in college. Living with somebody who I didn't know was completely foreign to me. So, yeah, looking back, it would have. I don't regret my choices. I just regret that I didn't do more. It's not about what I chose to do, it's about what I could have chosen to do more of. But yeah, now that I've started this at 36, I don't know, man. If I'm lucky, I'll have 36 plus more years on this planet, assuming, democracy doesn't collapse and the religious right doesn't take over the country in the next year. That shit is stressful. I know that, we're just trying to gel, vibe, and not worry about politics, but goddamn, if times aren't scarier for anybody who isn't a conservative Christian right now. What else? I mean, this is probably going to be a short episode, right? Last week it was more so talking about who I was and all the things that led up to me being me. And this time it's just progress is good. I'm a very private person. I'm an open book, but at the same time I'm private. It's complicated. People are nuanced. They're not specifically one thing. They can be multiple things. Like, if you ask, I'll tell you, but most of the time I prefer to be. This scares me. Like, something like this is really scary to me because I'm so used to just being a tiny square in the corner of your screen playing a video game, and I'm not used to being this in front of the camera, and I'm afraid of exposing myself to people. Pause. I'm just afraid of, it's easy when you're the needle in the haystack and nobody sees you, and you're just a blade of grass in a sea of grass. But the minute you start to, I remember one time. I mean, this is an Eastern philosophical thing, but it's one thing that stuck with me from my Japanese teacher because I took Japanese in college. I took a lot of Japanese in college, actually. 少し話せます。日本語が少し話せます。Sorry, getting sidetracked. But she said, the blade of grass that sticks itself up is the first to get chopped down. And it's there's a bunch of Asian cultures that have the same phrase. It's not like it's specifically Japanese. I think I learned about it, like Korea also has a similar saying. So if Korea and Japan have that saying, it must have come from China. It feels like a lot of influence on philosophy came from China back then, but I'm just speaking out of my ass. I haven't done the research. And so the point being, the more I expose myself, the more I make myself known to people, the greater the backlash I feel, the greater that people will harass me or whatever. And it is what it is, I guess. At the end of the day, it's the business we've chosen to put ourselves in. Because I don't want to go back to school. It's something that has been on the back of my mind, but I can't afford it, man. And I'm not going to take out more loans. My credit's shit at this point, probably. I have a $450 payment due this month because I don't know, I can no longer sign up for forbearance. I guess I've done it too long because I've been adverse to working a regular ass job because I don't know. Is it laziness, anxiety? Mostly anxiety, dread, existential dread of having to go and deal with people because I've been there. I've worked retail a couple of times in my life. I've worked as a customer service representative at a call center. And that was hell because people are trash a lot of the times. I don't know how else to describe it. I'm a very pessimistic person at times, and I know some really awesome people, but they make up such a tiny percentage of most people you encounter, especially if you're in a position of lower status than they are. Like, if they think they can treat you like crap, then they will, because it's human nature. Just people are like that. Not all people are cruel and treat you like shit if you're a low wage worker and they're in a position to treat you that way, but a lot do, and I just don't want that, man. I just don't. And it's hard finding, I don't know, like, I don't, it's like I've said before, like, I don't mind. It's like I told my mom, like I said, if you help me get in to work with the city, like, I don't care, I'll scrub pans, I'll do whatever. But they've always been adamant, like, the elders in my life have always been adamant that, like, no, I don't want you to work a hard job, like working in an industrial kitchen, or not even like industrial, but it's kind of industrial. It's like a government program. I don't want this for you. You were supposed, they never say this. This is just how I interpret things. You were supposed to go and get your degree. You were supposed to be the better one of us and be educated and work a nice, cushy job as a teacher. And it's like, being a teacher is not a cushy job, dude. It's a lot of effing work for not a lot of money. If you're the only way instructors get a lot of money is if you have a doctorate and you're working at a university, in a research university, to be more specific. Like, the head of the philosophy department was getting paid so much money. He was making like 200 grand a year. And it's like, how in the hell do you reconcile that shit when you think, what good is philosophy? And yes, philosophy is the foundation of many different branches, areas of thought and research and understanding, and it has its place in curriculum, right? But I don't know, man. It's like in the back of my head, it's like, if society collapses, you're not going to be sitting there discussing Plato and Socrates and Freud and Nietzsche. You're going to fucking, those dudes who were in the agriculture department are going to have a head start because they know how to fucking cross germinate seeds and pick out seeds that are going to yield the most crop for the least amount of work. And there are some things that just have, I don't know, a weird kind of objective value, and stuff that is social science, like philosophy and education. And education's important. I'd say as a social science, I would figure that education is slightly more important than philosophy. But again, I know how important philosophy is. It's just that this guy, he was a really cool dude. He taught me. He reminded me of Jeff Foxworthy. He was from some part of Texas. I think he must have been. I don't even know if Jeff Foxworthy is from Texas. Well, let me see where Jeff Foxworthy is even from, dudes. I'm kind of curious. Sorry, ADD moment. You might have an accent. He's from Georgia. Maybe he was also from Georgia. His name is Dr. Cleveland. He's the head of the philosophy department. You might be a redneck, but he just had a very southern U.S. accent, and it was this dichotomy of what people associate a southern accent with, being a yokel, somebody who is uneducated, and being this dude who would get in a fight with one of his students over Schrodinger's cat. I vividly remember that because it's a thought experiment. Because if you've never heard of Schrodinger's cat, the Cliff Notes version is you put a cat with food in a box and there's poison in the food, right? So you ask the question, is the cat dead or alive? Well, you don't know. Ultimately, the conclusion is you don't know until you open the box, but before you open the box, it can be thought of as both dead and alive because you don't know yet. So in the instance before you know, it can be both. It's a philosophical thing, and if you think too much about it, you'll fall into yourself and end up crazy and think you're God like Friedrich Nietzsche did. So I don't focus too much on philosophy is, I guess, the main, Cliff Notes version. I took a little bit of it. But yeah, it's a lot of work for very little payoff. You have to like teaching, and I did enjoy teaching. I still kind of do. I just didn't enjoy all the red tape it took to become a teacher. On top of being treated like crap by parents and sometimes students, because students are trash lords too. They can be, depending on what grade you work with. I'd always thought I wanted to work as a third grade teacher, but nah, man, I'm good. And especially how this country and gun law and fucking people getting shot, and nah, I'm good. Even if it's a small percentage of things that goes on in schools. Knowing my luck with video games, I would be the unlucky one, that 1% chance that it happens at my school, so I'd rather not. Again, that's my neuroticism talking, that's my anxiety talking, looking for reasons to not do something. It's just, I mean, I associate a lot of bad times with education because that's how I got so burnt out. My first way through undergrad is an education degree was the only one that was a 5-year program. Everybody else was 4-year for a major. I had to take so many core classes, so many general ed classes, because as an educator in this country in particular, you don't know what you're going to be teaching, so you need to be able to teach a little bit of everything. I initially wanted to be a Japanese teacher. Like, I loved the Japanese language so much that I wanted to teach other people how to speak it. And the thing that sucks about language acquisition is you have to live the language as haughty, I think it's haughty as that sounds. It's not enough just to learn the basic underlying formula of a language. Like, the most basic sentence in Japanese is topic wa noun desu. This thing is this thing. And I kind of doxed myself. I might have to cut that out. So watashi wa Duke of Haze desu. I'm the topic, and I'm Duke of Haze. Like, that's the most basic thing. The formula part of that is easy. The innate knowing of how the language is constructed without thinking about it is the hard part. Your brain does that automatically as you grow up. Your brain automatically learns the grammar. You can take an English class and they can tell you what a particle is, they can tell you what an article is, a noun, a verb. That's just giving signifiers to these parts of speech. But your brain already knows where to put a verb in a sentence, where to put a subject in a sentence, because you grow up listening to people talk, and your brain just knows how to do it. Like, the human brain is a really amazing thing, and language is an amazing thing. It's what sets us apart from other animals, is our ability to communicate like complexly communicate, because there was a debate in linguistics a couple years ago on whether or not other animals really communicate with each other, if they can really communicate like complex ideas. And I've not read up on the research or the papers, but language as we understand it is something that is completely unique to humans, to Homo sapiens. It is unique to us. And so, I don't know, dude, it's hella interesting. I love linguistics. It's just that my university didn't have a proper linguistics program, and I don't love linguistics enough to research it for the rest of my life. Like, you get a PhD in something because you love it so much that you want to always know more about it. You always want to make discoveries about it. And I don't know if I'm that passionate about it. It would probably eat away at my passion. I don't know if I'm passionate about anything enough to like continually make new discoveries about it. I just don't like research. I don't like the idea of conducting studies and surveys, and like, it's important to understand how to do research, but I don't care enough. That's the long and short of it. Not language, I guess. I just like analyzing things, but researching things is something I don't like. I have an analytic mind, but not a researcher's mind. Like, if someone does the research and I analyze it, that's one thing, but I don't know. Maybe they go hand in hand, and it's crazy to like one and not the other. But that's why I'm here. That's why I've been trying to get this YouTube channel off the ground. I'm trying to figure out what people want to watch, how I can connect with people, how I can help people. And so that's why this weight loss journey is really important to me, just because, like I said, I've never been with anybody physically, well, that wasn't against my will. So I don't know, I at least want to do that once and say that I've done it. I do want kids. I want to meet somebody. There's all kinds of stuff that I've not done yet, you know. I think if I were to die tomorrow, I would be kind of pissed because I didn't quite get a fair shot at things. But you make do with what you have, I guess. But I'm not, knock on wood, I'm not going to die tomorrow, so I don't have plans for that. But yeah, I should probably consider wrapping this episode up. I'm not really trying to make this a therapy session. I guess maybe next week we'll see where we are, and I can talk about just how I feel like I have a lack of value. It's something that I'm supposed to talk with my therapist about next month. So, yeah, next month. So, we shall see. But thank you for watching. It feels good to be making progress. Like I said, again, I'm down to 220. We'll round up to 220. It's 219.8, but 220. So, down 4 pounds this week. And, yeah, feels really good. And I'm going to go play some Skyrim because, I don't know, I'm going to reward myself for doing my work today. But thanks for watching, fellas. I'll see you next time.